2 years ago, I ranked every single MUSE song and it was disastrous. My opinions in that was crazy, especially because I was quite only recently getting into MUSE. But now, 2 years later, I have compiled all of MUSE's songs again and I've ranked them. This time, including all of the B-sides that I didn't include last time, B-sides and some like singles that I didn't include the time before, and of course also the new album, The Wow Signal. So that brings the total of songs up to 140. Yes Please is my least favourite MUSE song. I don't have a ton to say about this, only that it's literally just noise for 3 minutes straight. There's no coherent concept to the song, nothing that I've spotted anyway, and I find it completely unneeded to exist. And I would say the same for Execution Commentary, which is in 139th, if I didn't find it somewhat funny. That's what makes it a little bit better. Even though the song's completely ridiculous, like Yes Please, at least you laugh when you listen to it. Forced In is a similar story, and same goes for all the B-sides, which I've put right at the bottom of the list. Agitated, Minimum, and Jimmy Kane, which happens to be their least listened to song of all time. Next, we've got the first on an album. This is my least favourite album track. It's called Break It To Me on Simulation Theory. Now, a lot has changed since 2 years ago, but not the fact that Simulation Theory is my least favourite album. And last time it was Dig Down, which was my least favourite song. This time I've actually changed it to Break It To Me. I really dislike this. It suppose has a cool concept, but I don't think it works at all, and it's quite unbearable to listen to. I usually can't even finish this song. That's another thing to talk about in this list, because after being a MUSE fan for years now, well, a few years, I've listened to most of these songs several times, and the ones at the top I've listened to probably like 50 to 100 times, so I'm very familiar with these songs now, and I'm quite happy with how I've ranked this. I'll probably have to re-rank it again in 2 more years though. Ashamed and Host, Do We Need This, and Niche. Now Niche is actually an instrumental, and I need to be honest with how I've made this list, because MUSE have a little bit more than 140, and I've been a bit biased in which songs that I don't include, because I have cut a few songs off this list. I cut, for example, Piano Thing, Bedroom Acoustics. Those ones are just somewhat irrelevant. I've not got rid of all instrumentals. For example, I've kept Niche here at 130th, and then I've got rid of some covers. For example, I got rid of Please 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 Let Me Get What I Want, but I've kept other covers such as Feeling Good. So basically I didn't really follow anything except which ones I wanted to include, so I don't care that much. Coma and Conscience. Conscience I thought had so much potential. It's a really cool song, very atmospheric, and if only the first minute of it didn't exist and there was an extra minute at the end where it built up to something a bit more coherent, I think this could have been a really cool song, but I don't think they executed it as well as possible. Similar story to The Second Law Isolated System. Really cool concept, some cool ambience in it, but nothing I can really call an incredible song. Dig Down next, and a lot to talk about with 125th. We Are. Probably the most stupid concept for a MUSE song, I think. It's not even that the music is horrific. I mean, the music's nothing incredible. Some people think it's, you know, cool music, but quite bad lyrics. Or some people just like the song. I don't at all. I think the music's nothing special, and then the concept's just ridiculous. Not only pessimistic lyrics, but just really, really corny. I know that everybody was kind of miserable when this came out in 2022, but still. And then when you actually look at the lyrics, they're just really corny, especially the chorus. So I really can't take this song seriously and can't put it very high. Next, I think we've kind of got a very niche fan favourite called Map of Your Head. People like this song. I've not put it very high. I think that it had some cool concept, and it is at least a coherent song, unlike some songs on Hullabaloo's soundtrack, but I don't think it's anything good. Screenager, the worst song on Origin of Symmetry. I might be missing the point with this song, but I personally don't find anything in this. Madness, this might surprise you because it is, I think, the 5th most popular MUSE song, but I don't like it at all, actually. In fact, I think the ending's alright, it ends quite fine, but the first probably like 3 minutes and a half I just find really pointless. I don't like it at all. It's not unbearable. I ranked it a bit higher than I did 2 years ago. Not a good song. Escape, I think the weakest song on Showbiz. It's not horrific, but nothing special. Prague had some cool points for concept. I think the way that it's set up, some of the sounds, it's completely different to the rest of their songs, but it's not really a song I'd ever listen to. Same goes for Drones, actually. Even though it sounds completely different to Prague, I have basically the same justification for putting it at quite a low position at 119th. It's just a cool concept, but nothing I'd listen to really ever. Eternally Missed, I think it's some fans like this, but I don't see anything particularly interesting in it. Megalomania. Recess is decent from Hullabaloo soundtrack. I personally find that album, which is only a compilation album of some of the random B-sides, but I don't think they picked the best B-sides. There's some cool B-sides that they missed out, and they included some really weird B-sides on it. Anyway, I think it's a bit unneeded, even though some Muse fans love it. I think mainly because it's quite very experimental, but in a really dark way. I'm not sure, but it's nothing that I'm very fond of. There are some good songs on it, one or two. The Void is next. I think this is mostly ambient music, a bit atmospheric. And after that, we've got The Groove. Save Me, I've got no problems with, but it's not very high up because I don't find it very interesting to last 5 minutes long. Propaganda's cool. I think I quite like the concept, especially, you know, don't know how to describe it, but you know, the gimmick of the song right at the start you hear. I quite like it, but I find the verses quite unbearable, really. Animals, Hypochondriac Music. Ooh, this one's quite an interesting one. I think it's very popular with some fans of this early dark grungy experimental stuff, and I don't think it's horrific, but it is quite low. I know that it's kind of the lyrics to the song Hyper Music, but in a much less heavy and a more dramatic, I suppose, style. Hate This and I Love You, and then it's Nature_1. By the way, I love Muse. Muse is my favourite band. I don't know why I've chosen to interlude here with this information, but Muse is my absolute favourite band, and even though I'm kind of attacking some of these lower songs saying they're not very good, just trust me, Muse has some of the most brilliant music of the 21st century. When you get into the top 80, it's all really brilliant. Anyway, Revolt, I think this one's a bit too poppy for me. I'm not opposed for having lighter songs. I mean, not every song has to be heavy, but this one I don't think works very well. Twin, Dead Star. I know a lot of people like this one, but I find it just noise. I mean, it's not like the bottom ones, which is just like sounds. At least this is a coherent song. I feel like people who like it because it's heavy are just kind of liking it because it's the idea of heavy, but it's not as good as actual heavy songs that they've made. Something Human, Soldier's Poem, quite nice, but I can't put it very high. And then Reapers, I think this is a really overrated song. I find it really annoying, and I usually like the heavier stuff, and this I'll say is a heavy song, but I find the chorus really annoying, and it drags on, and I don't like this song very much at all. Next, we've got the worst song on the Wow Signal. I wanted to like this song a lot. It's called The Sickness in You and I, and it's got a really cool idea, concept, but I don't quite like how it came out. I think it's unpredictability is not the problem, but coherence. It's not really a coherent song in the sense that it's kind of just like dissected parts of different songs smushed together, and you can tell that it's all like smushed together well. It's still one song, but it doesn't quite work together as well. It's like jumping over the place. I don't think it changes time signatures, but it changes styles, and I don't think the chorus hits as well as it should. I know some people really like this song on the new album, and the new album's a massive hit. I love it. It's probably their best work in 20 years, but this song's not it. Guiding Light and Ghost, How Can I Move On? I wanted to put Ghost a bit higher, but it's quite generic as far as emotional ballads go. I think Muse are generally better at innovating, and this song is not very innovative, so I didn't really find anything worth noting in it. Explorers is a cool concept, and I quite like parts of the song, but it's not for me in its entirety. Blackout is the worst song on Absolution in my opinion. I just find nothing very interesting about it. Unintended is one of Muse's biggest songs, or it's especially growing recently, and I think it's loved among like die-hard fans and kind of more moderate fans, but I don't really like it that much. I mean, it's fine, I've got no problems with it, I listen to it sometimes, and I think it's the same story of Ghost, How Can I Move On. It's not really doing anything special, it's just a kind of dark love song, not dark as in theme, just dark as in musically, especially coherent with a showbiz album. But I don't think it's really doing much. I mean, it's got a nice chorus, especially towards the end. It's nice, but it's not doing anything new. Whereas The Second Law and Sustainable is doing something new, but not quite to the quality as some of the stuff higher up. Follow Me, I think it's a bit more poppy, but it's still a nice song. I quite like it. Crying Shame, this one's quite a hard one for me to include. Exogenesis, I put it low down, and I've listened to this song 4 times, as in I've listened to the whole symphony. Twice when I was making the list the original time, and then twice more when I've listened to it to make this list. And I don't get it. I think it's my fault, because it's not that it's bad song so I put it low down, it's that I don't get this song so I put it low down. I think I'm missing the point somehow. I get the overarching theme of, you know, humans leaving Earth for another planet, and I like parts of it. I think the second part's the best, even though I've just condensed them into one, Exogenesis, here. And I think that, I suppose it works together, but I think I'm missing the true beauty in this song, so it's quite low, where I think if I was able to appreciate it to the art it was created, I'd probably put it a bit higher, but for now it's gonna have to stick at 92nd. Take a Bow is in 91st, it's a cool song. And Pressure, then, another popular one. I think it might be the biggest on the Simulation Theory album, not the best though. United States of Erasure, there are parts to this song that are cool and parts that just get on my nerves, so I'm gonna have to balance them out by just putting them somewhat in the middle. Also, I didn't realise until recently that Collateral Damage at the end of this song is actually a cover by Muse of a classic piano piece, which I think is really cool now that I'm more interested in classical music as well. Falling Down, I put this very, very low down the first time. Mercy, and then Get Up and Fight, 2 a little bit lighter ones, especially Get Up and Fight is quite poppy, and I think I put it lower down the first time. I've got no massive problems with it. I think it'd be better if it didn't have that really high-pitched like vocal bit that they use in it, but it's fine. I'm not gonna act like it's like horrible just because it's not got like massive guitar. Hoodoo, I find it much cooler now than the first time I listened to it. And right after that we've got Night Shift Superstar, a new one. I think the concept's cool in this, but it's fine, and since I said earlier top 80 are some of the brilliant songs, this is a good song, but it's not one of my favourites. Falling Away With You, nice song. And then Spiral Static, I think this has a little bit of potential, but I'm not quite keen on it. Shine's cool, I like this song. And then 80th is Compliance. Now I know a lot of people didn't like Will of the People album, but I did like Will of the People. It's not some of their best work, but it's good. And Compliance, even though it's a little bit more electronic, and that's not usually my kind of thing, I like it. Compliance is great. Endlessly, it's got such a cool vibe, such a cool feeling around this song. It's not the strongest on the Absolution album, but the atmosphere that this song creates is great. The Globalist is next. 10-minute songs usually for me are incredible or rubbish. This is one of the few 10-minute songs that is neither amazing nor rubbish, because it gets some things right, but it also feels like it's only 10 minutes for the sake of Muse having a 10-minute song. It didn't need to be 10 minutes, I don't think. I like that Muse made a 10-minute song. It's fine, and I'll still listen to it periodically. Easily is a cool song. I like it. MK Ultra's dropped a little bit down since my last ranking. I think it's just not as great of a concept as some of the other songs, but still overall a great song. Overdue, I think some people hate this a bit more than it needs to be hated. I know it's not the strongest song. I know you can tell that it was one of their early songs, but I like this song. Fury's cool. I used to put it a bit higher, but it's just a good song. In Your World, Euphoria, another similar story to Compliance, is a bit more electronic, but still a good song. Algorithm, I think another one that's a bit more atmospheric, but still good. Liberation, lots of people said that this sounds like Queen. I didn't really hear that. I don't know if that's like just me hearing wrong or not being as familiar with Queen, even though I like Queen a lot. Yeah, I don't hear that this is like, some people said that this is just copying Queen. This really isn't just copying Queen. You can can tell that this is completely original, and I like Liberation. I think it's a great song. But You Make Me Feel Like It's Halloween. Now, even though I still love this song, this has dropped a lot since my last ranking. I think, if I remember correctly, I put it in 20th last time, which is really nuts. I don't know how I put that in the top 20. It's not that incredible, but still, I like it. I think the concept's a little bit cringy. It's a bit stupid, but it works. The music carries it more than the lyrics do. I've never really judged based on lyrics, but I'm beginning to do it a little bit more recently. My last ranking with Arctic Monkeys did actually consider lyrics a bit more than my previous rankings with other bands, and I think Matt Bellamy writes all the songs, so he's never really been a poet. He uses his voice more as an instrument, but sometimes a song can be made or broken, make or break, you know what I mean, by the lyrics, and I think this song is where the lyrics drags it down a little bit too much. But sometimes Matt Bellamy will write some brilliant lyrics. Blockades is next. I think that I put it a bit higher up last time. Defector. Philip, I love this one this time. I didn't like it much the first 2 times I listened to it, but now that I've listened to it probably close to 15 times, maybe more, yeah, I liked it, especially the chorus. I mean, sometimes you're just listening through the verse to get to the chorus, no, but the chorus is really cool. Sober, I know a lot of people say this is an annoying song. I don't hear that. I like this song. Will of the People, great opening track. Again, lots of people didn't like Will of the People and the opening track, but I think it was really cool. It worked very well, and even though that they've done the Revolution theme many times, it still felt new with Will of the People. They exhausted it to the point that if the 10th album would have been another revolution against the dystopian government album, then it wouldn't have been good. But I think doing Will of the People as that theme again was just amount that they could still be original. They're not repeating themselves. Glad that they changed it back to more of a sci-fi theme with their 10th album. Anyway, Will of the People, great song. The Dark Side, and then this might be a bit controversial. Some people say this is Muse's best song in 60 Second, and it's a fan favourite. It's also quite popular just in general. It's called Butterflies and Hurricanes, and it is really good. I like it more now than I did the first time I listened to it, or the second time I listened to it. I've not listened to it as many times as some of the other songs, probably closer to about 10. It might continue to go higher and higher as I continue to rank Muse songs every 2 years, as it seems like I'm going to be doing now. But at the moment, I don't think it's as good as other songs as on Absolution, or just in general. It's good, but it does get slightly annoying towards the end, in my opinion. Can't Take My Eyes Off You is a cover. What Muse do best about their covers is they actually reinvent the song instead of just performing the song again. They make it into a heavy song. It works very well. It's not the best, but quite good. Aftermath, quite a long song, but the atmosphere of this song is brilliant. The emotion that it comes across is really powerful. I Belong to You plus Mon Coeur s'ouvre à te voir, very cool song. I love the piano segment, even though the slower part's a little bit more boring, but it works well within the context of the song, and I especially like the piano bit. It sounds very baroque, I guess. I can't describe its style. When Matt Bellamy gets his piano out and it's the centerpiece of the song, it's gonna be a brilliant song. Invincible, very nice song. I like this a lot. Not got much else to say. Space Dementia, it could have been much higher, but I still love it. I'm not, by the way, when we're reaching here, I'm not complaining about any of these songs. These songs I all listen to regularly. Space Dementia has also risen a lot since 2 years ago, but I think that it's not as coherent as a single song as some of the other 6-minute long songs on the album. Obviously, there's 3. There's Newborn, Space Dementia, Citizen Erased. 3 long songs on that album, and I think Space Dementia is the weakest of them. The other 2 are incredible. You'll see them come up later in the list. This one just lacks the coherency of the others, but still a very satisfying song. Neutron Star Collision, Love Is Forever. Ooh, what a song next though. It's a new song and it's been growing on me every single time I listen to it. The first time I was like, oh yeah, weird, good, I suppose. Next I was like, oh, this is good. And now that I've listened to it probably close to 10 times, it's just the atmosphere that it creates and the emotion in the end of the chorus and the end of the song, it's brilliant. It's called Space Debris, and if you've only listened to it like once or twice since the album came out, give it another chance. You will not regret it. It's great. Okay, I need to get through these a bit quicker now because I'm getting very slow. Glorious and Microcuts. Wow, the chorus in Microcuts, the way he gets so high in that, like, he sings higher than I can whistle. It's crazy. I don't know how he does it, but it's incredible. Dead Inside, I think the end really carries this song. The beginning of it is fine, but the end really brings it up to a great level. Be With You is just narrowly missing out in the 50th position. New song, and I think it's really cool. The organ at the start's great. Some of the middle part, you know, the more electronic bit is a bit weird, but I think it works well. Honestly, I wish it would have been a bit longer. I think they could have dragged it out a tiny bit, but no, I think this is a really great song. And very narrowly better is Shimmering Scars. I love this song. Now, I'm not sure if this is just recency bias, but a lot of these songs on the new album are very higher. Kill or Be Killed, the song that showed that MUSE still could make heavy music in 2022. Really great song. I think I've dropped it down a little bit from where it was 2 years ago, but that's fine. I think it's great. Survival, what a song. We're really getting into some of the brilliant songs now. I love I think there's a choir in Survival. The choir's really cool, and the drama in it. I love how it's just not conventional at all. And then Liquid State, one of the two songs with bassist Chris Wolstenholme singing, and I think it's really cool. Honestly, I wish we could have a few more. Futurism and Thought Contagion. Thought Contagion, I think, is my favourite on the whole Simulation Theory album, which is quite a shame because it's still low. 45 for a best song on the album is not very good, so that's my least favourite album. The Handler and then The Small Print, I think, too, that I don't have a ton to say about. They're just cool, heavy MUSE songs, and I like them a lot. Apocalypse Please is so good, such a good introduction into Absolution, and it's risen a lot since the first time I ranked these songs. It's very high up now because I've seen that this song is magnificent. Hyper Music, the better version of Hypochondriac Music, is really cool. And then Shrinking Universe is the best song from the Hullabaloo soundtrack, as I talked about earlier. I was going to call it wailing. I'm not sure if that's a good word to describe it, but I mean the end part where the singing is very dramatic is really cool, even though it's a bit strange if you were to describe it. Ruled by Secrecy. Somehow I thought this was one of the worst MUSE songs of all time the first time I ranked these songs. How? I don't know. That's what I was talking about at the start when I said that some of these disastrous claims were made. No, Ruled by Secrecy is in the 39th because even though it's quiet and brooding, and sometimes I don't like it when songs are a bit not as loud, no, when it bursts out into the piano bit, I can't describe it very well. You'll have to see for yourself. Big Freeze, really nice song. I like it a lot. Very underrated, I might add. And around this area, honestly, 30th place to 50th place, I really struggled to rank them. Honestly, they could kind of go in any way. None of them are necessarily better than each other. Unnatural Selection is next. Long song, but very good. Cave, I really like the ending of this bit. I think you'd describe as a solo, maybe more of an instrumental, but it's really cool, especially for the Showbiz album. Panic Station is next. You might think The Won't Stand Down is my favourite from the Will of the People album, but it's not. There's another one that's coming up, but for now, Won't Stand Down is brilliant, heavy, and it is the song that sums up the album. Dark Shines, I really love the style. This is different to any other MUSE song in my opinion. I don't think they've done anything like it, and I wish they did more like it because this is really cool. Especially how it spends a lot of its time quite quiet, and then it explodes up, and then it gets quiet again, and then it explodes up again. The way the song's structured, I think is really cool. Exopolitics, I go a lot from loving this song to just finding it quite fine, and then loving it again, and then just putting it somewhere in the middle. At the moment, I'm really liking it, and I've put it at 32nd. Feeling Good, I think, is the final cover. It's the strongest cover. It reinvents the song, but still makes it really recognizable, but incredible. I think it's better than any other version. The Michael Bublé version, I might add, is very close, but doesn't beat out Feeling Good by MUSE. Showbiz is another song that's risen a lot in my rankings since last time. I really like how it builds up. I know that it basically repeats the same things throughout the song, but I think it works very well. Undisclosed Desires, I think this song benefits a lot from just a really, really strong, I suppose you'd call it hook. I'm not sure what the musical term is, but just the thing that repeats through the song is very strong, and then it keeps you there even though it's quite the same throughout the song. It works very well. Hush, one of the new Muse songs. I was a bit skeptical when they announced Ellie Goulding, you know, a pop singer. I didn't sure how it was going to work. I've got no problems with Ellie Goulding, but I was not sure if this song was going to be great. But it is. It's incredible. It's so good. Then we've got the second most popular Muse song of all time. It's Uprising. Only because the full 5 minutes isn't really changing, but I think that's also simultaneously a weakness and a strength of the song. It works that it's just one thing through it all, but it also would benefit from being either shorter or having some sort of a different climax. I don't know, but brilliant. Just not as good as the most popular song, which is obviously Supermassive Black Hole, and you'll have to wait to see where I've put that. Supremacy in 26. I said 2 years ago, I think, that I said that the verses are boring and then the chorus is cool. No. The verse is almost equally as cool, only because without the verse you don't have the payoff of the chorus. If it just was screaming throughout it all, then it wouldn't really be a song. You know, you need the verses, and the verses are really cool because you're anticipating this, and then when it comes, it's so like satisfying and it's so good. Time is Running Out, a classic Muse song, very classic, you can't go wrong with it. Resistance, very nice, another one of the longer but still not very long songs on the Resistance, and I think it's the strongest. I think it's my favourite song on the Resistance album. Uno is very underrated. I love the concept. I think it's a really cool. I'm not sure what's going on in the lyrics, but I've interpreted it different ways. I think it's a really cool idea, and then obviously the actual song itself works very well. I like it a lot. Sing for Absolution, another one that I put like concerningly low the first time I ranked this, but now it's become immediately one of my favourite Muse songs. The first 2 times I listened to it, I don't know how I didn't see its beauty. It's probably the strongest concept on the whole Absolution album, even though there's 3 more to come from that album. This song is just so strong, and I absolutely understand now why it's so beloved by fans. It's now become one of my most favourite songs as well. And the ending is immaculate. Ooh, what a word. Hexagon's a new song. It's only being held back by the fact that it's kind of like the middle part isn't long enough. So obviously in this song you begin with the kind of electronic's not quite the word, but it's very futuristic. It's not really a riff, but I'd call it a riff for now, that builds up into the actual song, and then it ends with that same thing. So you end up with basically half the song with that and half of actually the song. So it kind of ends up like if you had a burger where the buns are much too thick, so when you eat it, you're kind of just getting way too much of the bread, but still, it works well. I'm not complaining. It's in 21st. I mean, it's in it's narrowly missing the top 20 Muse songs, which are basically just masterpieces, all of them. No, but Hexagons, I think if you'd have made the middle part a tiny bit longer, maybe repeating the chorus another time, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not master at structuring songs. I'm just like, from what I've noticed, it might have worked. I'm not sure, but either way, Hexagons are really cool, and I love that the time signature is in 6/4. It works very well, and I think that a few different places in the album, the wow signals in 6/4. So I love when Muse experiment with different song structures, and I think that works very well. Next is the best song on the Will of the People album. It's an unexpected one, Verona. I love this one. Can't describe why it's so brilliant, but I suppose just the concept and the execution. I can't explain it, so I'm not going to waste my time. The Dark Forest, wow, what a song. I wish it could be longer, honestly. It works very well, and then when it builds up into the chant, which is in Latin and Greek, which is just so cool. I mean, I know it's not the kind of thing you usually get in modern music, but an epic chant in Latin and Greek for some reason scratches the coolest like itch. This happened last time as well when I was trying to explain why I love the top 20 Muse songs so much. I was just failing to, so I'll leave you there. The Dark Forest is one of the best from the new album. Next we have Psycho. I know a lot didn't like this because it's not particularly a complex song, but I think still it works very well. And next we've got the single most popular MUSE song, which recently passed 1 billion streams. It's really, really cool. Don't let anybody tell you that, oh, just because it's popular that doesn't mean it's good. No, that's not how it works. It's a brilliant song. But slightly better is Bliss on the Origin Symmetry album. I love the song so much, but I'm not going to waste my time trying to explain why, so we're going to move on to Thoughts of a Dying Atheist. This one's quite an important song. Beyond the music, I think everybody should have a good think about that song. I'll move on. Unraveling is in 14th. I know this single came out a year ago, so we've had time to listen to it now plenty of times, and sometimes when a new song comes out and you think, oh yeah, that's brilliant, that's going, oh, that's top 20, that's top 15, and then after a while of listening to it, like, oh, maybe I got a little bit too excited for it. Sometimes the opposite happens, but this time neither happened. Usually when you get a new song, your opinion of it changes rapidly, but this has been really consistent. I've listened to this song, I think, about 60 times. I only know that because it was my single most streamed song last year, and it's not gotten worse for me. I still love this song just as much as the day it came out, really. Muscle Museum, oh, what a song. What a song. I've got no clue what it's talking about, but it works so well together. Showbiz is such a cool album. Honestly, MUSE have very few bad albums, Simulation Theory being one of them. Cryogen is the best song in the WoW Signal. People called it a modern plugin baby. I absolutely understand how they got to that conclusion. Not as good as the original plugin baby, but nobody expected it to be. Still, it's incredible. Top 15. I've got a really underrated one next called City of Delusion. This song, especially the middle part, I'm not sure what the instrument used is. I might be overcomplicating it. It might be just a guitar, but there's a really, really cool instrumental piece in this, and it works so well. I love the style. I can't describe it. I can't describe what genre this is, but whatever it is, it works so well. But it's not quite in the top 10. In the top 10, we have Citizen Erased. I mentioned this earlier, that Space Dementia is the weakest of the 3 long songs on Origin of Symmetry. Citizen Erased is the second best, because the riff at the start is very abrupt, like quite intrusive, and then the chorus in this song is brilliant. The only complaint is the last 3 minutes doesn't drag out, because it absolutely adds to the song. I mean, if it wasn't there, it would be a worse song, but it does get a tiny bit boring. But no, there's no point in complaining. Top 10 songs, obviously all masterpieces, so in fact, I'm getting rid of that complaint. In 9th, Starlight. I know people will think, oh yeah, it's a popular one, oh yeah, it's a tiny bit poppy, even though it's not pop, like, it's not even close to being pop music. But even though some will say, oh, it's a bit lighter, and are they sold out with this? But no, it's incredible. And I know this is kind of irrelevant to the broader song, but I love it that they drop the name of the album. I love it when the name of the album isn't the name of the song, but it comes up in the lyrics. And in Starlight, at the end, where he sings Black Holes and Revelations, it's really cool. Assassin is in 8th. I think I've moved it a tiny bit down since last time, but it's still one of my favourite MUSE songs of all time. It works very well. Sometimes I get a tiny bit tired of it, but no, usually it stays right to the top where it belongs. Sunburn is in 7th. I think this was basically their first big song. I don't know how they managed to make such a brilliant song on their first album. Sometimes people make incredible first albums, so I suppose it's not unheard of, and it's not like their first album is their best album, but this song is really Newborn is in 6th. The best of the kind of long songs on Origin of Symmetry, but I wouldn't say it's the best song on Origin of Symmetry. It's narrowly missing the 5th place. One of the best, like, conceptual, structurally designed songs that are longer. The chorus is so cool, and obviously the verses themselves are really cool. The riff works very well. There's no complaints about this song. Masterpiece. Similarly, Knights of Sidonia. I might be a bit biased putting this higher up because it was the first MUSE song that I've ever heard, so it's obviously going to stay there as the thing that introduced me into MUSE, but I think it also does deserve its very higher position. Plugin Baby is in 4th. I put it in 2nd the last time. I've put it down a tiny bit, but still, it's not gotten worse for me, even though I've listened to this song probably like 120 times, if I was being a bit generous. I've listened to this song so many times. I don't get tired of it ever. Same goes for Hysteria. Honestly, I've not really got a different review for Hysteria than I do as Plugin Baby, only that it's just a bit more, it's a bit stronger. MUSE were more established established by this point. They'd obviously on their third album, they knew what they were doing. It's just that tiny bit better. Second, Stockholm Syndrome. I can't believe the first time I listened to this I didn't like it. Now remember, I listened to it twice in 2024, which means that by the time I made the list, I obviously did like it. I listened to it the first time, didn't like it. The second time it grew on me and I liked it enough to put it, I think, in the top 20 or maybe the top 30. But by this time, now that I've listened to it probably like close to 100 times, this song is almost unbeatable. It is so undescribably good. But Map of the Problematique wins in a way that I just can't describe. I've been looking for words to describe the brilliance of this song, and the closest I've got is understated. That doesn't really mean what I want it to mean. I'm trying to say that it's better than Stockholm Syndrome in a more subtle way. It was my favourite 2 years ago, it's still my favourite now. I don't see it going anywhere because this song is just perfectly made. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like down below. If you enjoy my content, subscribe. I need you to tell me your favourite song by MUSE, preferably, in the comments to see how it compares with my list. Last time, a lot of people weren't happy. That's completely fair. Hopefully this is a better list, but probably in 2 years I'll be saying the same thing as I was saying for last list, saying that, oh, how did I put this so low? How did I put this so high? Because, I mean, opinions for songs change all the time. I'll probably be changing things about this list in like a month already, but either way, this is what I have for now, and I think it's a perfect reflection of the best MUSE songs.